Okay, if you are the unfortunate soul to get a Kindle Fire 7 and you really want to make some artwork with it, you can obviously get a really cheap, regular stylus. You can use your finger, but I'm going to show you two options that are around $30. And if you have the newer, the 2022 the Kindle Fire 7, the one with the round USB-C port, you can use a full-on pen tablet. But unfortunately, if you are stuck with the Kindle Fire 7 that had the micro USB, this is power only. You can't put any data through this. So unfortunately, you will be stuck with only something like the Sonar pen here, or a Bluetooth version of a pen tablet, which is going to be way more expensive than the Kindle Fire 7 that you have in the first place. And getting someone to buy that for you probably isn't going to happen. So yeah, the Sonar pen is $30 currently on Amazon. The Prime one here that I have is the blue that they have for Prime, so free shipping. 30 bucks, pretty easy to start with. Another one I have down here is the Ugee Q6. You can get this with a coupon currently for $26, but they normally go for 33 on Amazon. And so yeah, I'm going to show both. The first one I'm going to show is the Sonar pen. Now, this is the worst of the two options in terms of usability because I'm having so many just like random hiccups with this that it becomes a lot of inconsistency when working with, but I at least want to show you this because it works on both the 2019 and the 2022 Kindle Fire 7s here. So first thing is I did try Medibang. That is from the App Store, but it could not work with the Sonar pen. It kept erroring out and I couldn't get any pressure to register at all. So what I ended up doing was I downloaded APK Pure. This is a like a Google Play Store-ish type of thing without having to install the Google Play Store. And I'm saying don't do that for these devices because there's not enough RAM in here to work with. And that adds additional RAM, more processing power that you're going to need for your drawing app. So I downloaded APK Pure just to download High Paint, and that will let me be able to use the pen. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this real quick to give you the full thing. So when you buy the Sonar pen, the nib here is like a gold one. This is the Android version. They have an extra nib in here that is silver. That's for iOS. So you get one Android, one iOS nib, and then you get like a little holder with some instructions here. But I'm going to show you how to get this started. Basically, just go ahead and plug it in. Make sure the volume for your audio is all the way up. That is 100%. And then we're going to go ahead and go into High Paint. And what I found is that if there's too much processing going on, like you make a canvas that's too big to work with, like it's too much for the Kindle Fire set, the handle, it gets inconsistent. Like sometimes I'll do a stroke and it doesn't register at all. So what I recommend is when you're doing a new canvas, just go ahead and start. If I do new canvas here, start at the lowest resolution, the screen size, and you can see you get 141 layers, ton of layers to work with. It's not going to be that high a resolution. You can move to a higher resolution later, but I think for sketching, you're going to want as much performance as possible. So we just choose new canvas with the higher resolution. And then we need to activate the Sonar pen. This will work, but it will work with no pressure. So what you do is you do the dot, 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 you go down to sketch settings here, do that correctly, sketch settings. And then we're going to checkbox this enable Sonar pen. It's going to prompt some permissions, just accept them all. And then if you need to, because one issue that I have is that this has a fairly light activation rate, but it requires a lot of pressure to use this more than what I'm comfortable with. So I had to go into settings again and go to the pressure sensitivity curve and kind of just bump this to the harder end. This way I can bottom out that pressure sooner. It's not gonna let me. There we go. So yeah, just do that. And this way when I'm drawing, I don't get these super thin strokes. So I'm going to go ahead and just go back to that setting real quick and show you what I mean. So if I go back to the pressure sensitivity, that's not where I want to go. Pressure sensitivity, and I reset this back. Maybe I should just use the pen. There we go. So I reset it back. When I draw, and right now there's no, there we go. They got pressure kind of registering. This is one of the janky things that is annoying for this to start with, but there you go. It is picking up the pressure, but I have a really large brush and it's a very thin thing, and I have to put like a lot of pressure just to get like a decent stroke to come out. So that's why I will go ahead and change the pressure sensitivity. Not sure why this is not moving forward here at all. To be a lot higher so that when I'm drawing, I get a thicker stroke to start with. And then another thing I do with the brush specifically is when you go to a brush and you choose one, you tap onto it. there's a minimum stroke size, and so I just bumped it up to like 30% because I will have too thin of a start, and it's annoying to work with. And then I can adjust my brush size to be something a little bit smaller and not have to just have this massive, huge brush uh, to work with. And the button you can assign in the settings too. So I have it to switch. I can go back to the pencil, and I don't need to be like hovering over this because it's going through the audio. I can change this at any time, which I thought was really cool. And then I can go ahead and start drawing if I need to. So I can go ahead and I don't know what I'm trying to attempt here, but you kind of see you can draw as you want and heavier pressure. It's pretty good. The general issue with the Sonar pen though is accuracy is really difficult. I think for sketching and stuff like that, it's a no-brainer. It's really quick. I like it a lot. As long as it works and it registers quickly, then I don't mind it. It is on the slippier side because you're working on a glass surface, and I have like a screen protector on here, but it doesn't really provide anything for extra grip. And yeah, so you can absolutely use this. It's just your palm will be a problem at some point. And I've tried to use something like a drawing glove. So if I try to put a drawing glove on, and there's palm rejection built into high paint with the Sonar pen, it's never good enough. Um, so yeah, you can try to use something. There are certain I don't have it around me right now, but there's certain things you can wear underneath your hand that's like a little leather holding pouch. Kind of like if you would just take this and put your hand in here or your finger in here and try to use this, or just try to use it to as a buffer, then it works a lot better than if you were to try and put it on a drawing glove and try the same thing, because it does not work very well. Palm rejection is terrible with this. And I think if it was flat and you're working off on the sides with a small device, it's great. But when you have to like be on here, then it doesn't work too good. And you can do one more thing in high paint. So you can turn off pen mode, or turn on pen mode, which should get rid of the issues with the palm stuff. But it's still a little iffy sometimes because then your finger's not technically drawing anymore. But I still couldn't get it to where I wanted it for that same experience. It's not a consistent thing. So that's the only thing. That's where I'm gonna close out for the Sonar pen. I think it's a perfect starting point. It's drawing directly on the screen. You're not gonna have that big of an issue, and it's fine. But with that, it's a lot to work with. You got a cable in your way. It's a bit chunky, and it's a bit more expensive than what I'm going to show here, which this is going to give you the ultimate precision. And it is a big, long learning process. You could be spending months to draw on this here, finally get everything down into place. But I'm going to go ahead and just take this out. So this has an embedded cable at the bottom here. This is a Ugee Q6. Like I said, $26 currently on Amazon with the coupon that it has on that site. So I'm not giving you a discount. It already just has it there. The only gripe I have with this is that the cable is on the shorter side here. And then the point of this little knob here is that this has a different aspect ratios. And the one that we're going to use is the third one to the bottom. That's going to give us the Android tablet. So I'm going to go one up here. And now I have my cursor shown. And this is my current drawing experience now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly do a new layer here and take this off. And now I have a much more accurate experience that for me, when pressing my pen down, it's nice. It is on the smoother side for a surface, but it's something I definitely would rather prefer. And then I can go back down here now and adjust the brush size to nothing and change back my pressure curve because I don't need, let's see, let's go here. Pressure changes back down. I can go ahead and change this as I need to. So it's now I can do light strokes and heavy strokes a lot easier. I don't have that issue that I had in the Sonar pen, and I like this a lot. But like I said, it's a big learning experience. You're learning how to map your hand-eye coordination from a pen tablet to a pen display, but you have so much more degree of accuracy that I don't know. Like for me, it's a no-brainer because you're learning a skill that you can carry with you to a computer, to any other tablet or phone that's can also connect to a drawing pad or drawing tablet here. And I really like that for that experience. Which is something that I really, really recommend over the Sonar pen. Unfortunately, this will only work on the Kindle Fire 2022 or anything else that had that USB-C port. There are little adapters you can get for micro USB, but like I said, it does not work on the Kindle Fire 7 2019. I'm trying to grab some here. So here I have one that's like a USB-C to micro USB, but they don't work on that because it's data only. And so, yeah, while I definitely do recommend this over, it is a big learning curve and it's a lot harder for people to grasp and want to use. And you can scratch the surface up. Like you can see, it's already kind of like marred and stuff like that. As long as you're not having a rough spot, it'll be just fine. You can also put different things on top of this. Maybe you did scratch it up so bad that it's in the middle, and I don't know, you can put like a little paper over this or something like this. So I can, here's a little sticker sheet that the Sonar pen had, but I can just draw over the paper as well and get a much, stronger paper over feeling, you know, and it still works great. So not much else to say there. I think the drawing things that you have options for the Kindle Fire 7 is nice. You're not you're not drawing with your finger. You don't have to draw with the stylus, but it does come at a price because I think this is what, $60 now, and you're spending half of that money on a pen tablet. Although this can be used for another Android phone, because it has the other two aspect ratios here. This can also be used for a computer, and I don't think you can assign the buttons on high paint with this specific pen tablet. I can double check here. So I go my device, try to connect. I don't think it will. Using app. So let's go back here. No, so that's Bluetooth only. But there are certain Bluetooth ones that I have, like the Galman WH851, that it'll work Bluetooth mode, and it'll be better. You can assign all these buttons here. But if you really wanted to use some of the buttons, some of them do register. So for example, I believe this is the brush button here, and then this one is the brush eraser. So some of them do kind of work, but it's not going to be exactly what you want. You can go into the settings here and try to use those buttons that do work, that do have something to register, and go, not to that, let's go to sketch settings. And at the very bottom, there's keyboard shortcuts. So let's say I wanted to change the brush eraser from E, and I want to use that for, let's say, actually, I think zoom in, zoom out's already on here. So let me just double check real quick. So that's undo, redo. Okay, that's brush. I'm not sure what this is. Let's see. Can we do anything with that? No. Okay, so we can try to use these two here to zoom in and zoom out. So let's go to sketch settings, keyboard shortcuts, and have, where is zoom out? Canvas zoom plus, and zoom out. Now, when I want to zoom in, I can do that, and I can zoom out. It'll be the same for like if you want to do brush size up and down rather than having to touch this little point. But it's sitting right next to you. It's not a big deal in the first place. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. If you guys have any questions about these two drawing options for the Kindle Fire 7 or another small screen device, something like an older Android phone that does have a port on here, you can still use the Sonar pen. And the Sonar pen does have adapters. So if there's no audio port for your device, and there's only the USB-C, they have an audio jack to USB-C adapter for Android and a lightning port to audio jack for iPhone and tablets or iPads. So you can use both of these for those scenarios too, with the exception that this actually doesn't work on an iPad. It's only Android and computer support.